Check it here, bring you another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be breaking down one special operation for the chicken coop, guys. So normally we do Chokepoint, we are a 10-man, and we had a really nasty Boomtown that actually made for some pretty epic attacks, especially this one here by Voodoo. So we're going to get into this, then we're going to get into stages 6 and 7 on Dr. Terrence, guys. So let's just check this out here. This is one of, okay, so Voodoo is one of the best hitters in the coop of all time, right? So this is one of the best attacks I have ever seen from Voodoo. It's just really cool. So I guess we'll speed it up a little bit. Actually, no. Let's just play the. We're only showing 3 attacks, so we'll play them in normal speed here, I guess. But yeah. So we don't usually get Boomtown. Actually, we kind of have been somewhat consistently, but it's a tough base because it has so many shields and rocket launchers and it's so big and stuff that it's going to require multiple attacks. There's no way to really solo it. So we got Voodoo going in here, and basically his plan is to take out these rocket launchers, and the plan was also to get these shields, but how is he going to do it, guys, is the question. So you see he comes up here, fairly clean walk so far, and you see he throws out the first smoke first, and then the one behind it, almost like he's using heavies and Zookas, and I guess there's no real magic behind that. That was just kind of where he went. So you see the Zookas are sitting in the no-fire zone of these rockets. So they're going to be safe there, and then he's got them all shocked up top. Now, pretty good attack so far, right? But just watch this, like, it gets even better. So, he takes out all these rockets, he's able to get that flamethrower too in the process, then he starts showing off here, guys. So he flares back, under the smoke, and my first time watching this, I was like, okay, like, what's the plan from here? Like, he somehow has enough GBE to get all the troops back with the heavies. Now you see before he brings the Zookas out of the smoke, he throws those critters down to help distract the sniper towers so they're not just picking apart the heavies, so they can stay relatively healthy. So he goes on from there to start to take out some of these sniper towers here, because those are just going to kind of get in the way, and he's going to be able to farm up some GBE at this point too. So he's making his way back up the left side, guys. We'll speed it up a little bit here, just a touch, guys, just a touch. So makes his way back up and around, takes out some more cells, gets even more GBE. So, I guess the crucial thing to this attack is being able to have these be like these defenses be sniper towers, so you actually have a chance to farm some GBE right back up. So you see, he actually gets back here. He gets the heavies in front. He's got the Zookas behind, and he's able to plow through all these machine guns and start taking out these shields. So, this was one of the craziest hits I've ever seen. Because normally, from what I understand, is the first attack is usually doing what he's doing on the second half of this attack. So usually you go left with Scorchers and Zookas or something like that, and take out those shields and those machine guns. So he actually could have kept going here, but unfortunately he ran out of time. So he's able to get some of these mines off the next shields up at the top there, and he could have kept going, which is pretty crazy. So that was the first attack on Boomtown, guys. Now we got a Cap. Captain Pablo's coming up next here, guys. We just call him Cap in the coop. And, Cap in the coop. There's a title for you guys. So Cap's, he's coming in on a little bit of cleanup. I think the play here is Scorcher, Zooka, yeah, and he's going to try to get all these rocket launchers down at the back. Now, I'm not sure why people tend to take Scorchers over heavies here, but I guess that's just the way it's done. So you see, he actually flares them back to get the Scorchers more in line, because if he just flared up like where the Scorchers were before, they would just be so far ahead of the Zookas, which doesn't really matter, I guess, for this hit, but it's just to keep it a little more concise. So he's making his way around, and the tricky thing about this little walk here is just making sure that your smoke does not expire on the Zookas, and you also need to keep your Scorchers alive. You can't let these boom cannons pick them off. You see, once they come out of range of these boom cannons, he's going to allow the rocket launchers to start firing on them, because boosted Scorchers are not going to... They're not even going to flinch at rocket launchers, guys. So the boom cannons are in range of the Zookas here on this left side, but that's actually fine because he's got so many of them. So from here, he's just working his way around. The idea is to try to take out the rocket launchers. If you just let them sit and farm, then it can get a little bit dangerous because the Scorchers aren't great at tanking for the Zookas because they kind of go all over the place, and then the Zookas sometimes get too close. So it can be tricky for sure. You see right there, the rocket launcher is actually firing at the Scorcher, but it doesn't fully distract from the Zookas. There's a little bit of splash damage there that was starting to carry over. So Cap is making his way around slowly but surely, guys. and he's going to be able to take out, I believe he just flares, yeah, he starts flaring onto these defenses, because to just let them sit there and take out everything is going to take too long. So the idea of bringing Scorchers is you save GBE, obviously, so he is able to do that somewhat. And so now he's coming up to this last rocket launch. Now you see the rocket's actually going to start shooting up over top on those Hookas, so he was able to shock it there just in time. And so now the idea is to try to get these 3 shields down over here. He's got this whole top area cleared, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, all he has to worry about now is this mortar and these shock launchers. Now I've seen some people, they bring Everspark on this hit that he's doing right now. And when they go for these shields, they actually hack this mortar, and then they get like a few free shots with the Zookas without having to shock anything, because everything is firing at that mortar, and there's nothing really here that's doing a lot of damage, except maybe if you get a boom cannon like this, that's going to be in danger of when you hack it, taking it out really quickly. So the idea when you hack it, I guess up here is to is just to make sure that it's not going down instantly. You want it to be able to distract the other defenses for a pretty good while. So he manages to get those shields down. Then he comes back over here, guys, and he was about to start showing off like voodoo, but unfortunately ran out of time. Next up, we have Big Hose, guys. So the Big Hoser, he's new to the coop, so big shout out to Hose. And he basically has everything done for him here. This is kind of just a silver platter of a Boomtown finish. It's still a little tricky, I guess, but nothing too crazy. So now that all the shields are down, you'll see this on really big bases that have a ton of HP on the core and on the shield and stuff. The idea is always to try to take out the shields first, and then just to go for the kill like a normal base, or like a lower level shield or something. So Big Hose able to finish it out there, guys. Big shout out to the chicken coop, crushing Chokepoint every single day, just about. We have this one here. I guess we have a chicken attack. We have a chicken soul here that we might as well throw in, because I mean we're already here, guys. So probably the easiest base in the entire operation. I have no shame in saying that, but the chicken usually just kind of flies in blind without really planning or anything. So if there's a base I know I can do, then we just kind of jump right on into it. So we collect the Zookas up here. We do the crazy turtle wall flare there with the Zookas, guys. They get in pretty good line. I think Brick actually tanks this boom mine. Yes, so she has a pretty good amount of health, especially when I have my troop health boosted. I'm pretty sure she can actually take a boom cannon shot. But unfortunately there, the chicken let her get a little too outrageous, and she kind of walked ahead of everybody. There's only 3 shocks that we need to get down here. I guess we'll throw that back into 1 speed. I threw out some critters there just to help distract those cannons. Oh, this is funny. So you see how I threw out this shock way too early on the up on these shock launchers? My phone was actually dying. I was at like 1% or something. I was at 2% by the time I was up by this boom cannon that hit Brick. So all of this was actually done while my phone was dead. So I threw that shock up because I knew it was going to expire at first, and I wasn't going to have time to shock it perfectly, so I just threw it back up there, and I logged back in after charging on my phone, and was glad to see that the base actually went down. So big shout out to the chicken coop, guys. We did get the heavies boosted 5 out of 5, so we should probably use some heavy Zooka here, aka the crab killers, because we have both of them are tribal boosted. And let's go with Caveman and the Ice Shield. I know it's a little unconventional, but I don't know. The chicken just really enjoys using the Ice Shield, guys. So I got my map cleared this morning. Not much problem there. So we're sitting at 1,007 victory points, guys. So I'm gonna take out these flamethrowers, I think, here. It is just stage 6, so we don't have to be too worried about this one, I guess. But the idea here, I'm just gonna use 1 smoke there. Probably should have used 2, but I think the rocket's going to target the heavies and not the Zookas, hopefully. So then we're going to just move up this way, and we'll try to get the heavies out in front so they can tank all of these mines for us, which is going to be very nice if they do in fact do that. So then we'll go ahead, we'll get the chicken triangle loaded up like this, guys. You see it's taking a very long time for the smokes to get there because this is such a long base. We'll go ahead and we'll flare onto the core from right about here. I didn't need to throw out that medkit, that was just like a reaction thing. So I'll go ahead, I'll get the Ice Shield up. And you see the Ice Shield's actually going to help out quite a bit when you're using heavies and Zookas, because you don't need that much time, number 1. And not everything is targeting on the Zookas. It just really helps with that kind of carried over splash damage from stuff hitting your heavies and things like that. And obviously the single shot stuff behind the Zookas, you don't really have to worry about either. So, and the biggest thing is running over mines when you have Dr. Caveman. That's initially why we wanted to bring him in, because it just makes it so much easier. It just makes it so much easier. So, oh, where do we want to go here, chicken? This is kind of a nasty looking stage 7, guys. Chicken. What have you gotten us into now? So, let's throw a barrage right here. I'd really like to just clear out this kind of entire compartment here, because those rocket launchers, those shock launchers, I'm not really worried about. I can get those to target the heavies just fine. It's this stuff in behind the Zookas that I don't want to have to deal with if we don't have to. So I'm going to throw out a couple artilleries there, hopefully take out that shock launcher. Okay, and that should be fine from there. So this is going to be tricky. It's not going to be like the last one, because it's a pretty hot beach. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So we need to get this next flare going up relatively quickly, guys. We don't have a ton of time to really mess around with this. So we need to get the heavies out in front. We are going to lose quite a bit of our heavies, it looks like, to all these boom mines and stuff. But if we can get them out in a pretty good order, let's go with the chicken triangle nice and early. We'll lose the delay in the heavies, but that's fine. I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of GBE for that. And next up, let's flare right onto the HQ, guys. We do have Caveman in tow. And we're going to need to shock right about here and here. Let's get the ice shield going up like that, guys. I'm going to wait a second on the health kit until the ice shield goes down, which is right about now. And boom, stage 7 goes down. Back. So tribal boosted heavy Zooka. It's really good, guys. The chicken coop. We're still making our way up to the leaderboard. We're still waiting on that task force war with the angry outcast. I'm pretty sure that they've probably seen some of these operation stuff, and they're just not saying anything. Just complete radio silence by the angry outcast, guys. So that's gonna wrap it up for the video today. So make sure to let me know what you think of the tribal boosted heavy Zookas, what you think of how your task force is doing, I guess. Do you still enjoy pushing on the leaderboard? Are you in a task force that does that? Let me know whatever you think of that down below in the comments, guys. That's gonna wrap it up for the video today. Make sure to leave a like if you found it interesting, entertaining, or informative, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Chicken out.